Hello, my name is Melissa, and today we're going to talk about the Reinecker Mezzo version 3. The Mezzo is manufactured by Reinecker Technik, a German manufacturer of CCTVs that has been in business for over 40 years. The Mezzo version 3 builds upon the features of the Mezzo version 2 and 1 and has some wonderful, innovative features that we're going to talk about today. I'll just give a quick overview and then we'll talk about some of these things in greater detail later on. The Mezzo is a HD camera with an HD monitor. This is really important because not all CCTVs that are on the market today also have an HD monitor. So as you are looking around, make sure if you have an HD camera that you also have an HD monitor. The Mezzo is also unique because of its small footprint. Not everyone has tons of space to dedicate in their kitchen or their office or their home for some of the larger desktop CCTVs, but the Mezzo will give you full desktop operability with a small footprint that really can fit into a lot of smaller spaces. And this is really one of its more interesting and unique selling points. The Mezzo version 3 also now has a lowest level of magnification of 2.2x. This is one of the lowest levels of magnification in the industry and is really very important for some people that don't necessarily want the higher levels of magnification but are looking for the crispness and the resolution that a CCTV can provide. The Mezzo can fold and is great for transport in that regard. And the Mezzo also has a battery operability option. So this means that the Mezzo can be completely removed from its cords and operate solely on battery power. This makes it a terrific product for people that may want to go back and forth between an office and their home, between school and their home, or even between different locations or different homes. And at only 11 pounds, the Mezzo really is a portable option. When you first receive your Mezzo, it will come folded down like this. In order to snap it up, it's very simple. Just pull up on this arm until it snaps into place, and then swivel the monitor up like this and position it where you want it to be. Plug your Mezzo adapter cord into the unit, plug it into the wall, and you're good to go. On the back base plate of the unit, you will find 3 buttons. The yellow button is your power button. Just simply push it to turn the Mezzo on. The next button is your illumination button. Mezzo has 3 choices for illumination: high, medium, and off. When the illumination is off, the Mezzo is still on, but there is no extra lighting. This is very useful in situations when you're looking at something that is already self-illuminated, such as a smartphone or a tablet of some sort. The third indicator on the back base plate is the battery indicator. If you are working with a battery and it is plugged and the unit is plugged in and charging the battery, this will indicate that the battery is charging. Now that we have our Mezzo turned on, let's try using it. We'll start with a newspaper. Here's just an ordinary newspaper. And now I'm going to describe the buttons as they go across the front left to right. Your first button is your color selection button. Mezzo has the options of full color, black on white, white on black, yellow on black, green on black, and yellow on blue. And so this way people can find whatever color combination works best for them. Right now, as you can see, we're in full color. The next button is the magnification button. Mezzo automatically comes with autofocus turned on, so you won't have to worry about focusing, but with this button you can control the level of magnification. As we discussed earlier on, the lowest level of magnification for Mezzo is 2.2x, and this is really very low, and it's very important for people that don't necessarily need the higher levels of magnification, but are looking for the higher resolution that an HD electronic magnification system can offer them. So right now we're at the lowest at 2.2x, and it can go all the way up to almost 90x, which can really not fit a whole lot of words in, but for some folks, if you're really trying to get into the detail, it can go that high if you need it. We'll turn this back down. The final button is the color saturation button or the brightness button. I find that I'm often using this to adjust for the different types of material that I'm reading with Mezzo. So for one type of reading material with a flat matte paper such as the newspaper, you may have it set one place, and then for something else like a glossy magazine, you may set it someplace else. So for example, just to kind of show you right now with this newspaper, if I turned it down, you would really see a lot of the bleed through from the matte paper because newsprint is just very thin. But when I turn it up, it gets rid of that bleed through. If I were to bring a glossy over, that might be too bright for the glossy magazine. And so if you wanted, you could turn it down to find the best level of contrast for you. The brightness button can also be used to create a ruler or a mask. Just pull it out, and first you'll get the ruler. This is real helpful if people just find it easier to read with something underneath the line and to help them track across the page. Keep turning and you'll create a mask or a window. And that way you can isolate however many lines that you want, and then just block everything else out and focus on the specific material at hand. The monitor has some very interesting features. The new Mezzo V3 has a 15.6-inch diagonal monitor. This provides almost the same horizontal reading as a 17-inch monitor, but still within a small form factor. Most unique about this monitor is that it will also rotate in order to read in portrait mode. Let's turn that down a bit. This is particularly helpful if people want to read newspaper columns. I'll show you what I mean. Here we have a newspaper. Now, different newspapers have different column widths. This one is pretty skinny, but even so, you can see if we went down to the lowest level of magnification, we're actually getting 2 columns of newspaper in. As you bring it up, as you bring the magnification up, you may want to move it around. But this makes it excellent for, get rid of some of that color in the background. Makes it excellent if you want to read columns. And this is a very unique feature to the Mezzo. And you just turn it back and it automatically realigns itself. The Mezzo monitor can also be adjusted to really create the most ergonomic reading position for however you are seated or standing. You just move it up or move it down, move it up, and you can also angle it and position it this way. In this regard, you could use it even if you were standing, whether at an office environment or a lecture kind of environment. It's really very useful in that regard. Another very unique feature of the Mezzo is its optional battery operability. This gives you the ability to take the Mezzo anywhere you're going, even if there isn't any electricity. When you first receive your Mezzo, it will come with this cover just covering the battery compartment. If you have chosen to upgrade to the mobility pack, you will receive this battery and cover and a carrying case. When you receive the battery, just simply slide it in like this. It's an easy friction fit. Hard pressure is not necessary. It's very easy to put it in. Unplug your Mezzo. And you're ready to go with no battery. We'll slide something under. And there you are. You've got a quick indication of how much battery life you have left. This is very helpful so you know how much longer you can go. The battery life of the Mezzo depends on the level of illumination that you're using. At full illumination, you'll have about 2.5 hours of battery life. At half illumination, you'll have about 3 to 3.5 hours of battery life. And with no illumination, but with the unit still turned on, you'll have almost 4.5 hours of battery life. So you can use your Mezzo on the road for 4.5 hours before you have to go and plug it in again. This is a very unique feature of the Mezzo, one which gives it tons of portability and flexibility. Now that you have your battery in your Mezzo, you're ready to go anywhere. So to take it to the next place, turn the unit off, fold the monitor down, push the button at the back, release it down, put it in your carrying case, and at 11 pounds, you're ready to go. So that concludes my presentation on the Mezzo version 3 by Reineke. Just to summarize some of the key points that we talked about here today, the Mezzo version 3 features an HD camera with an HD monitor, a lowest level of magnification of 2.2x, a 15.6-inch monitor that can also rotate to the vertical position, optional battery operability with up to 4.5 hours of battery life, and a light 11.6 pound carrying weight. We hope you've enjoyed this, and we hope that you'll enjoy your Mezzo version 3. Thanks very much.